Hi folks, Dan Petruccio here on behalf of Leather Fashion Valley, coming to you today with a how to take your measurements video for their custom measurement chart. Also, this might be helpful if you're going with the stock measurements, because this will show you how to take your chest measurement, your waist measurement, and your hip measurement proper, and your total height, and add up to get you the correct and accurate sizing. So let's break that down. So first, what we're gonna wanna do is take a Taylor's tape measurer. Now guys, you could get these at like a CVS or a pharmacy or Walmart for about $1. I know for a fact that Walmart, if you have that in your country or something similar, they have these at the end of the sewing racks for $1. So you can't beat that. $1 on top of your total order price is a pretty small price to pay for accurate sizing. So we're just gonna use this one for the sake of this video, and what we're going to want to do is take note of where the end is, where the 1 inch mark is. Guys, you could take your measurements in centimeters or you could take them in inches. If you take them in inches, they'll be converted into centimeters, because we just so happen to be the only country that can't get with the metric system. But for the sake of the video, I'm going to use inches. So here's the 1 inch side. This is going to be where all of our measurements start. The most important thing when taking your measurements is making sure you don't add to any areas in inches. You know, some people seem to think, and I've heard this across the board from a lot of people, that they add to the measurements because they don't want something to be too loose or too tight. But guys, don't worry about that. It is up to the tailors and the people making your suit to make sure that there's allowances in place. And what those allowances are the fit of the garment, slim fit, tapered, whatever have you. There is a vision and a cut in mind for the piece. And by adding inches to that, what we're doing is taking their calculation and throwing it off. And that is going to get you a different fit than you're looking for. So even if you say, I want the bicep to be nice and close to the skin, don't worry about that. If the character you're doing has a tighter fit, they will get you a tighter fit. And if you see something standard and you go, I want a little tighter than that, just tell them and they'll make sure to make the allowances work out for you. So we're gonna take tape to skin measurement. Usually you'd be in hopefully undergarments. So we wanna make sure we can get the most accurate measurement possible, and that's tape to skin. Tape to skin. So we're gonna go across these numbers and we're gonna take our measurements. Important thing to note, number 2. Your chest is here, and that is the widest part of your chest, usually across the nipple line, going from around the body. And you're gonna want help with your measurements too, so that you can get the most accurate measurements possible. We wanna take our chest measurements with our hands down at our side, so the complete girth of the chest and back is released and down. We're gonna take it across the nipple line, and we're gonna make sure we take the full circumference. For the waist, people think that their waist is where their jeans sit or where their pants sit. That is not the case, actually. Those are your hips most times in modern day pants. So when you take your hip measurements, you're actually taking the widest area here, where your hip bones are. So that would be your hips right there. Your waist is actually where your body comes in the most, right here above the hips. That's the waistline natural. So that's where you'd take your waistline measurement. So we're gonna go across now and we're gonna take some of these measurements and some of the trickier ones. You know, some of the easier ones, like number 1, that's the wrist. We can hold the tape measure and we can see by going back to the starting point that our wrist measurement here at the widest part of my wrist is 7 inches even. Moving on to number 2, you're gonna do the same thing with your forearm measurement at the widest part of your forearm, making sure the tape measurer is not contorted in any way around the arm, and we get a measurement of 12 inches. We'd go along now and we'd plug 7 inches into number 1, and we'd plug 12 inches into number 2. I'm gonna go across and I'm gonna draw on all of these to make sure I'm getting the best measurements possible. Number 3, what we're doing is the bicep. So we wanna make sure that we've moved our bicep so that it is nice and contracted. And then what we're gonna do is, so that a jacket is not ill-fitting, we could take it both ways. I wrap it around my arm at the widest point of my arm to get my measurement. Number 4, the neck. The neck, we're gonna start at the back, Stand up nice and straight. Again, usually you'd have someone doing this for you, so these are going to be rough estimates for me. At the moment, we're standing up straight. I'm going to pinch where the tape measure ends. My neck is 15.5 inches. Number 5, the chest. So again, we are gonna go around the widest portion of our chest, which is right here, goes around to our lats, and we're gonna take the full circumference. So that should be the widest point. We're gonna let the girth of our chest drop 45 inches. So my chest is 45 inches. And yes, that circumference does include the lats. We want everything there. Number 6, we have the waist area right above the hips. And that on me is going to be 34 inches. Number 7, this is going across the widest portion of your glutes. This is your hips and glutes natural here at the top of the glutes. So this is the hip line. That is going to be 38.5 inches for me. Every time making sure we're seeing the edge of the tape, that demarcates our number. 8 is going to be the widest part of our thigh. So that's going to be usually around here, around the upper to middle part of the thigh. We're going to stand up nice and straight to get our measurement. Number 9, around the knee joint. So again, you would want to do this with your feet on the floor flat, but I want to make sure I keep everything in frame. Number 10, the calf at the widest part of the calf. These are easy, guys, as these are all diameter. So we're going around each time, making sure that we're going around the widest portion of whatever area we're looking at. Number 11, you have the ankle, and we want to take that one at the widest part of the ankle that includes our joint. Moving on to the other side, you have the entire length of the shin. That's going from center joint of the knee down to the center joint of the ankle. Seeing that would look a little like that. Then number 19 is your inseam. That is from the inside of the pant line all the way down to the ankle. Then on the outside of that, you have number 18, which is from the waist and hip line all the way down to the ankle. You're gonna want to be standing up straight for these, and you're gonna want someone else to take that measurement. That way you get a nice straight line all the way down. 17 is just half of that because we're just going from the waistline natural down to half of the knee. 21 is the distance between your neck and your shoulder, and that is this area here. So again, we can use this seam for a reference. So we're starting from this seam all the way to the base of the neck here, and that's that number. That's just measuring the distance. Then, last but not least, we have 12 and 13. Again, we can use these seams. You're gonna have the tape measure brought up to your back, and you're gonna measure that seam to seam right here on your back, and that's your measurement. You can actually do it by laying your shirt down flat on your bed, and you can take a measurement between seam to seam, and that number will actually work in here for number 12 as well. If not, just have someone measure you standing up nice and straight in that favorite t-shirt or where those seams would be on your body. Number 13, we're going from the base of the neck all the way down to the waist. Base of the neck down to the waist. So if you follow these steps and you plug these numbers into your sizing chart and send these over, you should get beautiful results and a wonderfully fitted garment from Leather Fashion Valley. Even if you're using the stock measurements, toss that chest, waist, and hip line into the size chart, and you should get a great fitting result as well. If you follow these steps, it should come out beautifully, guys. Enjoy your purchase, enjoy your garment. I'm sure it's going to be beautiful.